of us, don't understand the power of social media or social media programming. Will not understand it until it's too late, you know. And what we need to understand is social media is so powerful that it can present the wrong image to you repeatedly to a point that you start believing that this wrong image must be right. And it can present the right image and tell you that this is wrong repeatedly to a point you start believing that, wow, this thing that is actually true is wrong. You know, one thing you need to understand, one area that is kind of scary that social media has been attacking recently is the relationship between men and women. In social media, you get the idea that men are abusive to their wife. That is much more common than you think. That in every family you go in there, a man is beating the wife. But you don't realize the way the human mind works. The human mind is captivated, or attention. You pay attention to the thing that is quite rare compared to a thing that is common. If I tell you a story about domestic violence now, chances are you remember it and you may make decisions based on it. But if I tell you a story of how my parents have been married for 38 years and they've been together, you'll be like, okay, there's nothing so memorable about that. But if I tell you this story, you remember it. Okay, let me just tell you a story. There's this man who, him and his wife were living in Nigeria. The man had a lot of money. So, when you have a lot of money, sometimes you want to relocate. So he moved his family overseas to Canada so that they can have a better life, compared to our school system here. So they went there. Over time, the wife started making hair. And after a few years, the wife's business began to thrive, really do well. So the man said, okay, he must well leave Nigeria and go and stay with his wife. So when he got there, he couldn't get a job, being black and all. And so it was difficult for him to get a good job. So he started driving cabs. Imagine a rich man in Nigeria driving cab there. So imagine what the man was dealing with. So because of that, he couldn't provide for his family. So his wife began to lose respect for him, which is quite common. Sometimes some ladies, when you can't provide what fulfill responsibility, the respect they have for you start declining. So the thing caused strain on their marriage, and so the wife started talking divorce. So they separated. She moved to a new house, but it won't stop. The wife kept insulting the husband, kept threatening the husband. It got to a point, the man bought a gun, went into the house and shot the wife. You know. I bet you remember this story. You remember it. But remember that I told you that my parents have been married for 38 years. And you may not even remember that one. But this story is the rare things that get our attention. And sometimes when we see enough rare things on social media, we start assuming that that's how the world works. That's how men are. That's how women are. So just pay attention. Social media is very powerful.